another Shabbat, another Sabbath service through the spirit and power of the Lord. Breaking down Daniel, the 7th chapter, the 10 toes.
All right, so we can go straight to it. Get Daniel 7, right in verse 7.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 7.
Right.
And it reads, After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast.
Now, if you recall the prior breakdown, you got the first beast, right, which is a lion with eagle's wings, right? That's the Babylonians. Then you got a bear with 3 ribs in his mouth. That's the Persians. The ribs represent the carcasses of 3 nations, Libya, Babylon, and Egypt. The third beast was a leopard, right? That's the Greeks that conquered the Persians. And now we're looking at this fourth beast, right? It doesn't mention what type of beast it is here, but do brothers remember what type of beast this is?
Oh, the eagle.
Right, it's a 3-headed eagle. Let's get that real fast. Get 2nd Esdras, chapter 12, and verse 10. Right, because the Lord, knowledge increases, man. Right, as you come closer and closer to the last days. So it wasn't expounded upon Daniel what type of beast this is, but it was expounded to Ezra, right, the priest, scribe. Right, bring it up.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 12 and verse 10.
Right.
And he said unto me, This is the interpretation in the vision.
Right.
The eagle is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
Right. This is talking about the Roman Empire. Right. 146 BC, the Battle of Corinth. Right. That's when the tides changed from Greece being the ruling power to the Romans being the ruling power.
Got a precept on that.
Right. Bring it out.
Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. Right, because the so-called white man, he's personified as an eagle in the scriptures. Right, because he soar high, he mount high, and he come down and he swoop the prey. So give me Deuteronomy 28 and 49.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49.
Right.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
That's talking about the so-called white man. Right, in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Right, certain verses is going into 70 A.D., and certain things are going into slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. Right, but this particular verse is going into the so-called white man as a whole. Right, even the Romans, because they are personified as the eagle. Right, and I got another precept going into the Battle of Corinth. 1 Maccabees chapter 8. And you can start at verse 8. Well, first start at verse 1. 1 Maccabees chapter 8, verse 1 to get the context.
The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 8, verse 1. Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men.
Right, so meaning they were men of war. Right, they took down all these different nations, man. And we reading about that in Daniel the 7th chapter. Read on.
And such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves into them, and make a league of enmity with all that came into them.
So that was the spirit of the Romans. Pretty much, if you can't beat us, join us. Right, pretty much get down or lay down. Right, make a league with us or we're going to go to war with you and smite you asunder. And that's the spirit of the so-called white man, even of America today. Right, that's why they got, they in these different nations fornicating with the different nations of the earth. Right, get with me, I'm that guy. Right, that go along and get along spirit. And get 1 Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 8.
1 Maccabees 8 and 8. In the country of India and Media and Lydia, and of the goodliest countries which they took of him, and gave to King Eumenes. Moreover, how the Grecians had determined to come and destroy them.
They determined to come and destroy the Romans. Read on.
And that they, having knowledge thereof, sent against them a certain captain, and fighting with them slew many of them, and carried away captives their wives and their children, and spoiled them, and took possession of their land, and pulled down their strongholds, and took possession of their lands, and pulled down their strongholds, and brought them to be their servants unto this day.
Keep reading.
And it was told him beside how that they destroyed and brought under their dominion all other
You
kingdoms.
see that? So the Romans destroyed and brought under their dominion all other kingdoms, including the Greeks. Like the brother brought out the date, 146 BC, right, during the Battle of Corinth, in which they took down the Greeks. Okay, read on.
Under their dominion all other kingdoms and isles that at any time resisted them.
See that? So if you resisted the Romans, they was going to get at you, right? Now, they gave you an ultimatum. Look, get down with us, make a league, shake hands on it, and that'll be that. But if you want to resist our dominion and our power, we're going to go to war with you, right? And that's the spirit of the so-called white man. Keep reading.
But with their friends and such as relied upon them, they kept enmity, and that they had conquered kingdoms both far and nigh, and so much as all that heard of their name were afraid of them.
Were what?
Were afraid of them.
They were afraid of the so-called white man and of the Roman Empire. Right? So with that, I yield.
God, get Job 39, verse 27. Right, touching more on this eagle and why Rome, right, the so-called white man, is personified as this eagle. Right, an eagle is a top predator, man. Right, bring it up.
39. What?
39 to 27.
The book of Job, chapter 39, verse 27.
Right,
Doeth the eagle mount up at thy command, and make her nest on high?
right. Does the eagle mount up at your command? And you can't command an eagle to do anything. It's a proud animal, man. Right, and who else is proud on the earth? The so-called white man, Esau. Right, read on.
She dwelleth and abideth on the rock.
Abideth on the rock, right? The so-called white man, they abide on the rocks, the clefts of the rocks, the caves, right?
Upon the crag of the rock, and the strong place.
Read.
From thence she seeketh the prey, and her eyes behold afar off.
Right, and they just lurking. I believe they can see. I mean, matter of fact, let's try to look at how far can the eagles see. Right, because they can see from afar off, man. And they lurk and seek their prey, then they swoop down and just grab it. Them things can grab a deer, man.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, definitely a child, toddler. Right, this video is out there of eagles swooping down, grabbing toddlers off the earth. Con.
I want to go to Google, but let's see what they got.
I got a few precepts after you.
How far can it see?
He love that.
They can see more than 3 miles away, man. Something the size of a rabbit. Right, and that's Esau. They lurking from a high, just seeing, zoning in on their prey, man.
3 miles.
Right, and that's the Romans, right? They was taking out all these different nations, which is also Edomites, but they was taking out all these different other nations to get to their power, man. Right, so you got it, brother.
Con, give me Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 16. Right, so we going into the so-called white man, who's the eagle, right? Because he's from the Caucasus. Where you find eagles at? In the mountains, right? Swooping down on the prey. You know, eagles are predators. They're vultures. They're vicious creatures. Eagles are unclean, man.
You don't see the eagle coming.
God.
You never see an eagle come and kind of swoop down, and they got a long wingspan. They got like a 7-foot wingspan.
Yeah, them things huge. I seen the picture; it was big as a car.
Yep.
I wish I could pull that picture
And
up.
Esau
Right.
exalts the eagle. Right? Esau exalts the eagle. He got eagles all over his house. Right? He got the American flag going on. He got the eagle chain. Right? All hell be breaking loose. Now get Jeremiah 49 and 16.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 16. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thy heart, O thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock.
Talking about the so-called white man. His terribleness, his deception has deceived his spirit, man. His own wisdom and knowledge that he has on the left-hand side has deceived him. Read on.
That holdest the height of the hill.
It said they hold the height of the hill. Esau is the king of the hill on the left-hand side, just as the eagle is. Read on.
Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence.
What the Lord say?
I will bring thee down from thence.
So the Lord said he's going to destroy the so-called white man. He may be high and lofty and haughty on the earth, but the Lord is going to bring him down for his pride.
Right.
Right? The scriptures say a pride shall bring a man low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Keep reading.
Said the Lord, also Edom shall be a desolation.
What the scripture say?
Also Edom shall be a desolation.
So Jeremiah is equating the so-called white man with the eagle because they're the same beings on the earth. Again, so-called white man, he's not a literal eagle, right? Yeah. He's had the spirit of an eagle. We always break it down that man is personified as a beast, whether you're a fox, a serpent, an eagle, a pig, a dog, so on and so forth, because these are the characteristics of these certain men on the earth. Keep reading.
Also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished.
Shall be what?
Shall be astonished.
Shall be astonished. Right? So when men see the destruction of America, when men see this land destitute and cormorants and owls and, desert creatures dwelling in this land, they're going to be astonished. Like, wow, this was the city that men called great. This was the rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly. This was the kings of the earth. Now look at their land. Keep reading.
And shall hiss at all the plagues thereof.
And shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. And I had another one. Give me Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 38.
The book of Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 38. And it reads, of whom the world was not worthy, they wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and caves of the earth.
Talking about the so-called white man. They wander in deserts, mountains, dens, and caves of the earth, because that's where Esau is from. He's from the caves, right? So this is where you predominantly see eagles at. Caves, high mountains, swooping down on their prey.
Done.
Now give me another one. Give me Job chapter 30 and verse 5. And these are all precepts proving what? That the so-called white man is the eagle. All right, Job 30 and 5.
The book of Job, chapter 30, verse 5. And it reads, they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief.
Right, meaning Esau is a vagabond on the earth, just as Cain was when you read Genesis, the 4th chapter. Right, so they cried after him as after a thief. Read on.
They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the clefts of the valleys, in caves of the earth.
In what?
In caves of the earth.
In caves of the earth. Read on.
And in the rocks, among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth.
They were what?
They were viler than the earth.
They were viler than the earth. That's the so-called white man. He's vile. He's a pedophile on the earth. They got corporate NAMBLA, right? They got, homosexuality being pushed out, zoophilia, all manner of wickedness is promoted and upholding by the so-called white man. So he's a base man on the earth. Base is the lowest of the low, right? Like you got a basement, that's the lowest part of your house.
Caveman.
And also get Obadiah, the 1st chapter. Right? He's about to get that. It's the spirit. Obadiah, the 1st chapter. Because the whole book of Obadiah is dedicated to the obliteration of the so-called white man. And I love that book. That's one of my favorite books, right? Obadiah chapter 1. Bring it out.
The book of Obadiah chapter 1 verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus said the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom.
So this is a whole book dedicated to the vision concerning the so-called white man. Joe Biden, damn Donald Trump, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Eisenheimers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, all these damn different Edomites, no matter their social status. Read on.
We have heard a rumor from the Lord. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
So all these different nations are going to rise up against the so-called white man by way of World War III. Right? Russia, China, Iran, they're going to rise up against America, Babylon the Great. That eagle. Read on.
Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
Right, because Esau has a negative birth rate. He's small among the heathen. Right? They might teach that, oh, they're the majority. They're not the majority, man. Right? They're actually the minority because they're small among the heathen. Right? Read on.
Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
See, they dwell in the clefts of the rocks. That's why they build skyscrapers and office buildings and apartment buildings high up to the sky because it reminds them of the mountains. Right? The concrete, just everything look gray and dull, like a damn mountain, man. Read on.
Whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
So-called white man say, who shall bring me down to the ground? That's what the Romans thought in their mind. And who's going to defeat us? Right? We're beating everybody. We're beating everybody down. Right? Read on.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
As the what?
As the eagle.
As the what?
As the eagle.
As the eagle. Right, real quick, Dawood, just look up a picture of an eagle. It said they exalt themselves as the eagle. Bing.
That's that bean.
Type in animal. A bald eagle.
Come on, brother. All right.
That's the eagle.
Yeah.
You gotta change the default.
You got to for sure. Go to that eagle flying, man. That's just a face. I want to see them exalting themselves. Right, so that's an eagle right there. They spread them wings and they soar. Right, that's what Esau teach you. Spread your wings and soar. And believe in yourself, right? And worship me. And that's what Esau teach, man. Be free like an eagle. Now get that eagle kind of trying to land. Yeah.
Matter of fact, yeah, you made a good point. It's on the money, man. Pull up a dollar bill. Pull up the back of a dollar bill. Pull up the back of a dollar bill.
You know it's illegal to kill eagles too. Yeah. They can't hunt them. They be killing everything.
You can hunt Jake.
But you can hunt Jake and shoot them down and choke Jake the hell out on camera. But you can't hunt a damn eagle.
Check that out. Eagle, man.
And like the brother Tazadok brung out, you got the first captivity the Israelites were under, and you got the last captivity we were under. You got the Egyptian captivity, and you got the American captivity. It's an extinction of Rome.
It represents our how they conquered it. It showed right in our face how they conquered us. The red represents our bloodshed. The white represents the white supremacy, and the blue represents the water they used to ship us here.
See that?
You see they got arrows.
It's off.
So there you go. You got the eagle. That's the point. Now go back to Obadiah. The point is that Esau is exalt himself like an eagle. He soars high. He looks down on people. He kills the prey. Eagles don't hunt things in the air with them. They got to go down to the ground and hunt things. So Esau despises the poor.
Yeah.
If it's somebody rich, like to his equal, he's not going to hate them. But let it be a Jake, a homeless poor Jake. I hate that man. Why is he on the earth? Right? I don't like him. He's messing me up. Keep reading.
Obadiah 1 and 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord.
And the Lord said he's going to bring him down.
That's right.
Right? Because the Lord is greater than a damn eagle.
That's right.
Right? The Lord created an eagle, man. So what is an eagle to Yahweh Shem Yahushua? Right? He's going to bring down Esau, man. Right? He's going to kind of jack him up on the earth. Right? That's pretty much it on that. Right? The whole Obadiah goes into Esau and the destruction of the so-called white man.
Con.
All right?
Go back to Daniel 7. Daniel 7 and verse 7. So we had to kind of touch on what this beast is. It's a three-headed eagle. Right? Bring it up.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 7. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast,
Right?
dreadful and terrible,
Right. A big old eagle. 3 heads, man. Right? 12, what is that? 12 wings. 12 feathers. Right? Read on.
and strong exceedingly.
Right? Strong exceedingly. Hey, we just read how the Romans was conquering these different nations. They were a strong nation. The strongest nation of its time. Right, read?
And it had great iron teeth.
It had what?
And it had great iron teeth.
Right, now that iron represents the military might of a nation.
Con.
Right, let's get that in Proverbs 30 and 14.
Yeah, precept after you.
Right? So this teeth, this eagle had great iron teeth, man. Right? Powerful, strong military might. And they were known for iron weaponry as well.
And iron is a strong element. Iron is stronger than brass, it's stronger than silver, and it's damn sure stronger than gold.
Right? And that was what the first kingdoms were considered. Right? Gold, the silver, and the brass. Right? Because Greece was the brass, and they got broke down. We just read that. But bring it up.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 14.
Right?
There is a generation whose teeth are as swords.
Whose teeth are as swords, man. Right? Because them teeth represent a animal's power, man. Right? Just like the horn represents the strength of represents strength. Right? Because that's a rhino's strength, his horn. A lion's strength is his teeth. A bear's strength is his teeth and claws. You see? Right? Read.
There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their teeth as knives.
Read.
To devour the poor from off the earth.
To do what?
To devour the poor from off the earth.
Read.
And the needy from among men.
You see that? And that's what they use their teeth for, man. To devour the poor, you Israelites, from off the earth. Right? It all boils down to the Israelites getting destroyed. Yeah,
that's right. Bring out Sirach chapter 13, verse 19. The book of Sirach chapter 13, verse 19. They really paint a picture for Israel.
The book of Sirach chapter 13 and verse 19. And it reads, as the wild ass is in the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor.
Right. If you have understanding according to the scriptures, you'll know that the poor is Israel. Right. Brothers brought it out earlier in James 2 and 5. We're the poor of this world. Right. That'd make Esau the rich by default. All right. And that lion's, again, his power is in his teeth. It's not in his tail. It's not in his mane. It's not in his legs. It's all in his teeth. You can bring out Psalms 58 and 8.
The book of Psalms chapter 58 and verse 8. And it reads, as a snail which melteth, let every one of them pass away.
Oh, kind of 6.
Or verse 6. Psalms 58 and 6. Break their teeth, O Yahweh, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord.
The Lord's not speaking. This isn't animal cruelty. This isn't literal. We say, give me that lion. I want to beat the hell out of his teeth. Not a lion kind of losing teeth and bloody mouth. He's speaking about Esau, right? Because he's the lion on the left-hand side, and his military might lies within his missiles, his nuclear warfare, his top armed generals, right? Even the generals, they're the teeth, all right? So the Lord, it's like, so David said, hey, what did it say again? Break their teeth, O God, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Are you?
Give me Job chapter 29 and verse 16. So Esau, he's a young lion, the spirit, but he's also an eagle, right? He's an iron teeth, and that's not literal. It's all spiritual. Again, it's talking about his military might, his weaponry, his fierce nature. Job 29 and 16.
The book of Job, chapter 29, verse 15. I was eyes to the blind, and feet was I to the lame. I was a father to the poor.
What the scriptures say?
I was the father to the poor.
So you have to be a father to the poor. You can't be an enemy of the poor, right? You can't plot, rob, and steal from the poor. Real quick, hold that. Let me get Proverbs. I believe it's 22 and 22. Right? This is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 22. Rob not the poor, because he is poor. Neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. So you can't rob a poor man just because he's poor. And that's the so-called white man. You're already poor. You're already at the bottom, but he want to steal and exterminate you and to cause you to go down extinct on the earth, man, because he hates the poor of the earth. Okay? This is why he have spike benches. Okay? This is why he put crack in our community, heroin. That's why he sent us to damn Vietnam to get us destroyed. Jake was on the front line, man. Jake was on the front line in every war of the so-called white man, whether it was World War I, II, or III, right? Hey, Jake gonna be on the front line of World War III, man. Drafting Jake off, right? Sending Jake over there to fight in the Middle East, the Valley of Jehoshaphat,
Fighting them towel heads, man.
fighting towel heads,